All right, team, welcome back to the Ask Maddie Show. We're going to have a banger show today discussing some Casper topics, some news coming out of Casper this week. And you guys have questions. Should we just transition Casper over to be a meme coin now? Absolutely not. We're not going to do that. And asking questions about Brad Garlinghouse. Some news came out yesterday about potentially Brad Garlinghouse becoming the crypto czar here in America by a selection of Donald Trump. We'll talk about if that's even possible or not, or what that might look like. Also discussing, are we buying Casper, and some other topics. We'll get into it today. Maddie, how are you feeling? How are the markets looking today?
The markets are actually, believe it or not, looking very healthy to me today. Even seeing some red in the markets here today. A lot of you guys, are probably looking at the charts and you're like, "What the heck is going on? Is the bull market over?" No, this is actually much needed. It's a very healthy thing for price to do. The longer that we march away without doing any sort of corrective behavior, the harder those crashes are. So I'm very grateful to see some corrective behavior in the markets today. In fact, I'd like to see a few more days of this kind of corrective behavior because that will kind of really tee us up for more bullish periods and sustained bullish periods. So overall, pretty happy about the way the markets look. Feeling good today and getting ready for a holiday weekend here. So overall, pretty good mood.
Maddie, something I wanted to talk about on the after hour show from Monday. We didn't really get to it, but I wanted to ask you, on the way up in Bitcoin price action, we always see, dramatic pullbacks. All right. We'll see 15, 20, 30% pullbacks at times. Do you think we're about to experience a significant pullback right now before we break above 100K?
Yeah, so I mean, at time of recording, we've already pulled back. Let's call it 8% or so from the all time high. They're just under $100,000, which I know everyone was very keen on seeing that psychological whole number of $100,000. Like a 30% pullback or so would put us kind of around that 70K region, which is basically a retest of that previous all time high. Now, again, like you mentioned, Gavin, 15, 20 sometimes is also a reasonable pullback that we see in these bullish periods. So maybe we see more something closer to the high 70 region. But seeing that kind of pullback for Bitcoin here, I think would be very reasonable. Like I said, set us up for better long-term success. And alts are going to respond accordingly based on what's happening with dominance as well, right? So maybe if we start to see dominance peel back a little bit while Bitcoin's correcting a little bit, maybe altcoins get to enjoy a little bit less of a corrective behavior themselves. But again, I can't predict that kind of thing. That's just the relationship that we'll be looking for. But I do think that we need to continue to see another 10, 15% here for Bitcoin would be very, very healthy. And I would feel more bullish about Bitcoin moving forward.
Love that, Maddie. Team, we're going to get into your questions and comments today. But before we get into that, become a crypto charge member. Click the pin link down below in the comments section. I have it pinned in there, and it'll take you to our website. Use code YouTube to sign up because we are a crypto education platform. So when you sign up, you have access to our daily shows, the tools, the community within the Discord. So do that, team. We have been adding things throughout this year. Maddie did some Discord exclusive streams that have been added onto the website. We also have the tools in there. If you're a beginner and want to start your portfolio and don't know where to start, we have some tools in there for you to get you going because there is a lot of different crypto sectors out there that you want to be paying attention to. Not all of them are worthwhile, as if you're new here. There's some things we don't talk about. We don't really care that much about meme coins, even though you're asking about meme coins today. But there is some certain sectors that you need to be paying attention to, as such as these payment plays. And some of us would even argue these privacy plays, as privacy has been getting really tackled this year by, big countries around the world. So big things ahead for us, team. And if you want to be a part of that, I know my portfolio has been up. I know Maddie's probably killing it. I know he's probably giddy when he wakes up in the morning and looks at his portfolio because I am. So team, if you want to be a part of a community like that, a winning community that actually has strategy to their crypto investing, you got to join the Crypto Charge community. Maddie, let's get into the questions today. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Michael says, what can happen if Donald selects a new SEC chair?
He didn't do such a great job of it last time. He gave us Jay Clayton, who launched the lawsuit against Ripple Labs on his last day in office. So, it is what it is, guys. I don't put presidents on a pedestal when it comes to like, oh, they're going to do all this great stuff. Because a lot of times, too, once you put them in there, they're going to do what they want to do, right? Same with Joe Biden appointing Gary Gensler, right? Everyone was very pumped on him. He came in, as an expert in crypto, and then he did all this damage to the industry. So last two appointees, one by Donald Trump and one by Joe Biden, both did damage to the crypto industry, but in two very different, political sectors there. So cautiously optimistic about a new picking here, right? So what happens if Donald picks? Donald will most likely appoint. We know he's already, going around like Oprah, giving out his, projected cabinet picks and people he wants to surround himself with. And again, that's pretty normal kind of heading into those first last couple months before we see that inauguration. So, he will pick a new SEC chair like we talked about on the After Hours show. I do really, really hope that we get somebody of the caliber of Hester Pearson there, but, we don't get to make that decision ourselves. So we'll see who ends up being the pick, and hopefully it's a good one.
I like that, Maddie. Yeah, as it relates to crypto now, I was listening to someone earlier talk about how, I don't think it's right to just pin up Trump crypto. Like there's this big flip flop, right? Because Trump had a significant stance on crypto and Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's not American money. We need to we have our US dollar. Why would we have anything else, right? And, the Biden administration was the same thing. It was nothing very significant to a pro crypto stance, right?
Right.
So I checked this morning, Maddie. So the three candidates really for SEC chair are all either Bitcoin bulls or crypto heads, either friends of Elon or worked for Elon or have been in past Trump exchanges or Trump cabinet. So these people have surrounded either Elon or Trump, so they're like either buddy, and they're pro Bitcoin or crypto. So like, I really don't think you're gonna get a bad pick here. I know I did talk about, what was it, Brooks the other day on Monday's show, and he's on the HBAR Foundation. He was also a Coinbase exec. So it's like, you really have no bad picks here. So when it comes to this is kind of the feeling I had earlier this year, Matt, and I wonder if you feel the same way. It's like, there was a big transition within this last year and a half towards crypto to where it was seemingly everyone outside of the US government was like buying Bitcoin, big Silicon Valley, getting into crypto. And it was only the people that were inside that were like, we don't know what a blockchain does, or we don't know anything about Bitcoin. Do you have that same sentiment?
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with that. I think that everyone also played dumb. A lot of people were playing dumb and, not understanding the role of DLT and blockchain being a very unique role that doesn't fit into our existing understandings of how assets are transferred. And I think that also just so much money is poured into this industry in such a short period of time that there's been kind of just like this intentional finagling of ensuring that we create as much confusion as possible. But it does feel like all of a sudden that, the dust is settled and, we have this clear, optimistic future for seeing some, much more, helpful administration coming in and creating some more clear framework for us. So I definitely agree that previously we had a very, very ugly sentiment when it came to just about anyone in the space, trying to speak about crypto and, regardless of a regulatory standpoint, just like you said, not having a clear grasp on the technology itself. So hopefully this time around we have, some new people in the group that are going to, help propel that forward in a positive way.
I think they will, especially if their bags are packed. They're gonna be, they're going to see pro regulation. They want to see, a strategic reserve of Bitcoin. They want to see all of that stuff. So hey, we'll see. BCM says, can we just turn Casper into a meme coin?
Well, that's not how that works, guys. I think that first of all, when we talk about meme coins, you guys understand that those are just tokens that are created on an existing network. What sets certain tokens apart is they are a native token of a network, a network of their own. So Casper token runs on the Casper network. So you could launch, if you guys want to, a meme coin on Casper, right? Like you guys don't need permission to do that. That's the beauty of a blockchain. You don't have to wait or ask or, get the community involved. You can go ahead and follow the instructions there and create your own meme token if you guys wanted to. But we can't turn Casper into a meme token. It's a native gas token for a layer one network. So I think that you guys have a gross misunderstanding just in general of, how these tokens work and what the difference of meme coins are. One of the things that I've pointed to even with Solana, is first of all, have pump.fund, which is out of control right now. You have people live streaming all kinds of crazy things, illegal things, like crazy stuff to get people to try to buy their coins. And it really costs very little money. For basically like maybe $1,500, $2,000, I could go and create my own meme coin right now on Solana, get a Telegram that's full of bots in there convincing you guys that there's a huge community behind this stuff. Pump my bags, let's stay to a $500,000 market cap, rug all of you guys and move on to the next, right? So, be very careful out there, guys. It's becoming easier and easier and cheaper to create meme coins, to create false senses of community, to get people very excited, especially during these bullish periods. And, even if you make, let's say 50, 60 bands off of, just rugging people and then moving on to the next thing, that's a meaningful amount of money. So be very careful out there, guys. Anytime you do see meme coins on any network, understand that there's just this incredible amount of risk with it because the cost and barrier to entry is so low now. Anyone can do it and anyone can rug anyone.
Is there any specific names you want to throw out there, Maddie? Because I know I saw a couple of people doing that on live stream, like on Kick or on some of these, like not traditional like Twitch or YouTube, more like on these Kick platforms where they do the gambling. Any names there?
Well, that was what I was referring to as Pump.Fun. I can't remember the 4 projects that I retweeted the other day. All of them were really weird. One was like, killing my pet goldfish if you guys don't buy this coin. One of them was like, my girlfriend strips off whatever more clothes if you guys don't buy this coin. I don't know. Like, it's just some really weird shit out there. And you guys are buying it. Like, people are actually putting money into these projects. So super disturbing. Stay away from those guys. If you guys do lose money on them, I'm just going to say you guys deserve to lose money on them because you're participating in not even just degenerate gambling. You guys are just piling into absolute garbage. So don't do it.
Yeah, I hope nobody falls for that because that's happened a lot, Maddie, especially like on Twitter where you see like, one we talked about this year was Bryce Hall, and he got paid to just simply respond to a Solana-based meme coin. And I know Floyd Mayweather did it. I know there was a big guy in European soccer. I think it might have been. I don't even want to guess. I know nothing about soccer, but it's like one of these big guys, Maddie, and these people will accept money or maybe even tokens for them to then shill a token, a meme coin. Isn't that just like crazy and like unethical?
No, super unethical, and it's literally the main reason why we have refused to take a single partnership offer here at Crypto Charge. We've had a million offers from exchanges and tokens to talk about the token and get compensation for that. You guys accuse us of shilling Casper and other tokens that we genuinely do like, and I promise you guys, we don't get paid from anybody. If we were getting paid like that, I promise we'd be living very, very differently if I was getting that kind of compensation. But we don't.
Wouldn't have this,
exactly.
right?
We wouldn't have this partition. I wouldn't be in my home office here. We'd probably be in a giant studio that they'd be paying for. But this is the best way to do it, guys. Integrity is very important to us, and we don't take compensation from anyone for that exact reason.
LA Brown says, "Hi lads, great show as always. Are you aware that there is issues transferring Zcash off Trust Wallet and Ledger?"
I don't use Trust Wallet. I haven't heard anyone have any major issues with Trust Wallet in general. I do know that there is an existing issue with Ledger Mobile specifically. So if you're on your phone, there's for whatever reason an issue transferring Zcash using that method. But if you go to your desktop, have no issues. I've received and sent Zcash in the last month from my ledgers, so I'm not having that issue. If you guys are noticing issues, make sure you guys are reporting those to the devs. Make sure you get over in the forums. There's GitHub forums, right? So that's where you guys need to go. You guys are part of a decentralized platform like that. Go to the GitHub, go to their Twitters, let them know, hey, like we can't withdraw our Zcash. There's a major functionality issue here. We need to get this resolved, right? Like you guys need to be vocal about that. So I am aware of the Ledger issue, and you guys can resolve that short term by just using a desktop or laptop computer. But as far as Trust Wallet, you guys need to go reach out to those devs there and let them know there's an issue. So that's your job as the community. Make sure you guys are pushing back and letting them know that there's features and functionality that are not meeting your guys' needs.
Guy says, "Wait, so you guys aren't buying Casper at these levels?"
What, brother? Did you watch the show at all? I honestly think some of you guys need to turn the captions on or something. If especially if English is not your first language, throw some captions on so you can translate and see what the hell we're talking about. I never said that, right? Like one of the things I said was when we got maybe you're watching a show like when Casper was at 2.7 cents. When we did 100 and what was it, Gavin? 150%, 160% for the lows or something crazy like that. I was like, we don't buy big green candles. That's the mantra over at Crypto Charge, and I'm not going to apologize for that. That's called risk management, right? And some of you guys are like, well, it's still below your average. Like, why are you not just piling it? Well, because guys, like when you get those big impulses, like we've seen even with XRP, XLM, HBAR, Algorand, I tried to encourage my team to not be so angsty to get back to get in and add more, right? Because there's generally going to be a pullback. Today's a good example of that. Even with some of the coins that not traditional coins, but you have Coinbase down 6% today. You have MicroStrategy down 13-14% today, and that's not because that MicroStrategy and Coinbase all of a sudden are doing bad and business is bad. There's just a corrective behavior that needs to happen. So, in fact, if you go and roll back, what I said was the value zone for Casper. This was a gimme for you guys. The value zone was between 1 and 1.4 cents. We actually have shown a little bit of support already off the 1.4 cent region. My team knows that under 2 cents is a very good deal to DCA. So most of my team is, especially if their averages are up in that like 2.5 to 3 cent region, are DCing under 2 cents right now. So again, there's a variety of ways to approach this. I never said we were not buying at these prices. I did say, of course, when we're at 2.7, like let's wait for a pullback, and voila, here it is, right? Like it's just called risk management. It's called, having to split over your emotions and reading a chart, right? Like looking at the chart and seeing where those areas of interest are. So yes, of course, we're buying Casper at these prices, but I'm not telling you what to do. It's not financial advice, and I'm certainly not your financial advisor. So you got to make decisions that are good for you based on your own research.
Love that. Matthew says, Donald is going to pick Brad G for the new crypto czar role.
I mean, cool. I mean, I'd be happy to see it. Brad Garlinghouse is a very well-spoken person. I've obviously spoken very highly of Brad over the years here. And, again, Brad doesn't necessarily represent the interest of XRP within itself. He represents Ripple, which utilizes XRP heavily in his tech stack. So obviously, we follow that very closely. And, I do have a little bit of pre-IPO exposure in Ripple, but not very much at all right now. I'll definitely be building a more meaningful position once we do get some sort of IPO here in the US. But, I think he'd be a great pick for the cabinet because he's so level-headed. He has so much experience and just definitely has the ability to portray very complex topics in a very digestible and understandable way for people who are not in the DLT space, people who only have, let's say, 15 or 20 minutes to chat about crypto. He has the ability to really condense that information. So I'd love to see it, as far as that being like a legitimate thing, like the 3 or 4 news articles that I saw about it, they're all like very, very tiny little crypto pages. Like we're not seeing it being reported by like CoinDesk and Blockworks and Decrypt and like some of the really big news outlets out there that I look at for generally like pretty confirmed sources. So again, I'm not poo-pooing on small journalists. Like obviously we need small journalism and independent journalism to create a nice rounded space out here. But this has not been confirmed. And in fact, if you read through all of them, they say that he's on the list of speculation, right? So it's like, yes, we're all speculating, but speculation can be just people murmuring and rumoring, right? So would I like to see it? Yeah, definitely. Am I counting on it? No, I'm not.
Yeah, I think people were just speculating off the fact when he went on Fox Business, he was asked, "Oh, have you met with Donald Trump?" And he didn't wink. When a person just gives you the face and you can just read their face and it's like, "Oh, you're winking at me without having to wink." It's like you're telling me everything I need to know just by your face. And he did that on Fox Business. So that's why I was like, okay, then he did meet with Trump. What was the circumstances of that meeting? Why did that meeting happen? One would infer, oh, well, maybe he can see his way into the Trump administration, right? Or, some level of authority there. And so I don't know. We'll see. Brad G is dope, though. And I think we all love Brad Garlinghouse here just as a leader in the crypto space. So shout out to him. Maddie, I did want to touch back on this question before by Guy. He said something about like, why aren't you guys buying Casper at these levels? And it just like popped in my brain right now. You have to be strategic with your portfolio, Maddie. Like, if we think about me, follow me there for a second. If we were like just chucking the kitchen sink at Zcash at those low prices and weren't strategic about where Zcash places our portfolio, Zcash would be my number one, crypto holding in my portfolio, right? And obviously
Right.
I don't want Zcash to be that because I want to invest in other cryptos like HBAR, like XRP at the lows so that those can be my big holding there, right? So there is a strategy. You always have to employ like, oh, where is this going to fit into my portfolio? Maddie, we can chuck the kitchen sink at Casper all day long as price kept going down right now. And for me, I know you were doing more significant purchases than me as, Casper broke 2.5 cents. It got down past a penny. I kind of let my foot off the brakes. Casper was already the 2 slot in my portfolio, so it's kind of like, what more am I supposed to do here? So, were you going to show some?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I was listening to what you were talking about there, and it's it makes perfect sense that like first of all we have to look at our own personal portfolios, we have to look at our own allocations. But one of the things that I think you were also alluding to outside of just like the size of the positions within your portfolio is market capitalization. So how much money is in that asset, right? And this is kind of just like a rough logarithmic visualization of my holdings by market cap. So this doesn't say like this is how much XRP I have. This is just out of all the holdings I have, their market cap visualized on a logarithmic chart. So you can see that there's actually like a very big cascading effect here. So you've got XRP, HBAR, VET, Algorand, Mana as kind of like some of the bigger market caps. And then we start to get down. Zcash is still up there. It still kind of starts to keep pace with Mana, H, and T up there. But then you can start to see that I have a lot of smaller caps in there. Sushi, Illuvium, Casper, API3, and Velo. So you have a lot of these smaller caps that also have a lot of volatility and maybe I'm going to have to attack a little bit more aggressively. Where some of those large caps, I still want to make sure that I'm attacking my average and we're making sure that we have a nice and balanced portfolio. But I don't want to pile absolutely everything into these large cap coins because it takes a lot more money to make that market capitalization move significantly higher. So yes, XRP is one of my largest holdings. So a lot of you guys are like, you don't have any blue chips. Yes, I do. It's XRP, right? It's a massive market cap. But you can see that there's a very nice blend of market capitalization with my portfolio. And that's what we're looking for when we're talking about risk management, balanced portfolios, and making sure that we're adding tactically. So just because Casper is a very good price like you were mentioning, does not mean that you need to go all in on Casper, or just because Zcash is a good price, I need to go all in on Zcash. I need to look at my averages. I need to look at those averages and that position size within its own sector, whether it be, for a vertical of fundamentals, market capitalization, and a variety of other things, right? So there's a lot of considerations when, like, what are we buying, right? And a lot of you guys don't think about these little nuances when you guys are adding or building your portfolio. So take a screenshot of this if you guys want, just so you guys can have like a little visualization of what you guys maybe should consider market cap wise. But this is one of the big things that I think a lot of people overlook when they're looking to add to their portfolios. Am I adding strictly all to my small caps? Do my large caps need a little bit more buffing? Where does the balance actually need to be had here?
That was good, Matty. I just saw you pull up a chart, and my mind just went, "Oh, chart!" That was a good look.
This is my favorite chart. Pull it up.
Yeah. That was a good look, Matty. So those are all your cryptos right there. Is XRP still your number one in your portfolio?
But definitely by size, because I've just been building it for so long here. Obviously my XRP bag was a lot smaller when I was, not a business owner and not making as much money as I am now. But I was still consistent with it and still building that portfolio, as I possibly could with the money that I did have at the time. So XRP is definitely kind of has that first mover advantage in my portfolio. But, I definitely have, a lot of other these smaller coins that have taken a big piece of my portfolio. Casper, API3, Zcash have very quickly risen to, very large size position in my portfolio. And again, a lot of that comes down to averaging down when the opportunities are presenting themselves, and taking my foot off the gas when those opportunities weren't as prevalent anymore. So, very, very overall happy with my portfolio. This will again change over time. Ideally, by the end of the bull run, this gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and I have a much smaller portfolio. And eventually it's just, looking for small swing trades to give me 10, 15, 20% on trades out of my cash bag. But, this is kind of the overall breakdown right now by market cap. So again, this is not amount of money in each asset. This is just market capitalization visualized, total holdings for you guys.
Love that. Matty, this was a good show. Got into a lot of great topics here. A lot of, big news things we got to talk about today. Team, if you like this show, leave a like then. I really appreciate those likes down below. And if you have any more questions, leave them in the comment section and we'll get to them next week. I know we're probably going to have another banger shows, little lineup of shows next week, as everything just seems to be picking up right now. We got Thanksgiving this week. It's just the holiday season. I know a lot's going on in my life. I know a lot's going on in your life, Matty, right now. So everything's picking up right now. We're going to stay on top of it, team. So if you want to stay on top of the latest crypto news, make sure you subscribe. And I think that's all we have for today. We'll see you next week, team. Bye.